We are going to look at self-esteem. When I was thinking about this, self-esteem, though we need to help our children to construct, to build their self-esteem, we know as adults, many of us feel that we don't have much self-esteem. I'm not saying it in the negative sense. We wonder, we are not sure of our own self-esteem. Self-esteem, we know, is nothing but self-worth. As adults, many times we start to wonder, am I worthy of this? Is it possible by me? And we sometimes our self-esteem is based on what others are saying about us. But when I looked at this term self-esteem, I was thinking self, it is self. It must come from within. Self-esteem for each of us must come from within. But many of us, unfortunately, we base our self-esteem based on what the other person is saying. We also say sometimes, so and so saying that I'm very good at it. So and so saying that I can manage. I feel sadly that's not self-esteem. It can't be self-esteem. And we also know there is a very, always think there is a very thin line between self-confidence and self-esteem. When a person is confident, it's not about overconfidence. When you are confident, then we try things and we are not bothered about making mistakes. That's when, based on those experiences, we develop our own self-esteem, self-worth. We realize, oh, I'm capable. I'm capable. I can manage. Some of us even say, I know that I've faced such situation before. I know how to cope with it. I know how to manage. And we also say that I know I can manage. I know that. That's what we mean by self-esteem. Self-esteem is evaluating our own self and knowing our value. As adults, many of us really struggle. And people also tell us, you need to have confidence. You need to develop your confidence. But when we become adults, it becomes difficult. It's not our fault. Definitely, it's not our fault. But somewhere along the line, we thought that my worth is based on what the other person is saying. So we don't know really. We are lost. And when people say that you need to develop your self-confidence, even that becomes difficult. That's not easy for us. That's about adults. But you always know people with self-confidence can achieve many things in life. If you are confident, then your capability also will come out. With that confidence, we will be able to use our capabilities. That we know, actually, we are also, many of us are trying to develop our confidence later in our life. But we need to help our children. I think now all of us almost, whether you are a parent, whether you are a teacher, whether you are a grandparent, whether you are an aunt or uncle, we all know the importance of early years. It was told to us not by psychologists, not by doctors, by our own grandparents. In so many words, they say that whatever happens within that 6 years stays with all of us. In our own language, there are many proverbs, there are many sayings. So we are going to help our children to develop their own self-esteem, so that when they become adult, they are not bothered about what the other person is saying. I'm not saying that they will be indifferent, but they won't be bothered. They are sure of themselves. They know how capable they are. Once you realize your capability, you also realize your self-worth. Self-worth is nothing but self-esteem. When we think of children, the best advantage about children are, the one thing is no inhibitions. For children, there is no such thing as inhibitions. They try everything. When we are adults, we are very hesitant to try things. When something is challenging, we worry about the result. We worry about our failures. We worry about making mistakes. And all these worries are because of, if I make a mistake, what will others think? If my decision is wrong, how will I face others? I think all of you will agree with that. That is our worry. All the time, we can philosophically look at our life and easily say, no, let's not worry about the result. Let's keep working. That's a philosophical way of looking at it. But all the time, look at us. Oh, I'm thinking of doing this, but I don't know what will happen. If something goes wrong, I can't face others. It's very difficult. People will think that I'm incapable. People will think that I made a wrong decision. Even there, it's about others, not about us. If we have self-esteem, when I say self-esteem, if I know my value, then I won't be bothered about that. Those inhibitions are part of our life. I think part of growing up based on our experience. We all got it. I always say, let's not blame ourselves. It's an early childhood, not now. It's an early childhood which has helped us to create this way. But for children, we all know, though they are not very capable. Think of the newborn child. Child can't talk, a child can't walk, child can eat by himself or herself. But once they start doing things, there is no such thing as inhibition, no fear of making mistakes, nothing. They just try. And we also see they try. Dr. Montessori also says child is a worker. They work. So it makes our life easy, our work easy to help those children during that period where there is no inhibition. They are not afraid of making mistakes. There is no fear. Oh, will I make the wrong decision? I'm also going to give you a simple example of when the child is walking, they fall many times. When the child is trying to pull himself up, always they are not successful. But they are not bothered about that success. They keep trying. That's what, that keep trying. Every time I try to pull myself up. I try to walk. I try to climb. It's a very young child, even below the age of 1. If the child keeps doing it, once definitely we know one day the child will achieve that goal. That shows that I am capable. I'm talking about the child. Yes, now I can walk. Now I can run. That will be the beginning of self-esteem. It may not look like self-esteem. When the child can walk confidently, then the child says that, please don't carry me. That is the first sign of self-esteem. I know who I am. It's nothing but self-esteem. I know how capable I am. I am capable of doing it. We want to ask adults. I'm not categorizing us as parents, teachers, or anybody. As adults, our love towards children always unconditional. We say children have unconditional love. We also have unconditional love towards children. And we are here to help children. We also say that I'm here to serve. It is my responsibility. It's my duty to serve this child. With that unconditional love, sometimes our love becomes a block for the child's building self-esteem. It is unknowingly, unintentionally. Many of us know this. It's a very common thing. When the child tries to pull himself up, when the child is standing up, immediately many of us clap. It is out of love. We clap. Most often children are distracted. When 2-3 people are clapping, they lose balance. But this clapping is telling the child, always when you're doing something, we will definitely reward you. But when the child is trying to pull himself up, he's not expecting that. He didn't expect. But we create, instead of helping the child to construct or create his self-esteem, we create expectations. Always I get good from people. Sometimes I get bad also from people. Both are not helping the children with their self-esteem. This is common. And I also want to tell you, once there was a child, the child was doing something like this. We say, no, show your head, show your eyes, show your nose. Children sometimes show, sometimes they show randomly some body parts. Every time people were clapping. I was just watching. The grandmother looked at me and she thought something is not okay with me. She said, clap, clap. You need to clap. The child also looked at me. Though the child couldn't talk, for the child, it looked a little bit strange. Why is this person just keeping quiet? We create expectation. And then when we clap or when we say good, I don't know what the child feels, but that's an expectation we create within our children. When you do something, when I say good, people are also happy. They don't say good with angry tone. They say, very good, very good. I will say you are a good boy when you do this. That is where I want to tell you self-esteem will take a beating. It is no more self-esteem. Then they always expect some kind of reward. We also know, actually rewards are not helping us much. It's only the recognition. But by rewarding the child unnecessarily, all the time, will hinder the child's building of self-esteem. Then there is a dependency. I look for reward. If I don't get reward, I feel sad. Poor child. The child is capable. But that day we were very tired or we were preoccupied. So I couldn't say the same good or bad or I forgot to clap. I'm talking about a very young child. Still a young child. But the child will wonder, why? Why is this person not saying this? We know when the children have that kind of expectation, they look around to see how many people are doing this. But to build the child's self-esteem, I feel sometimes our love should be such that we must leave the child to try out certain things. Like I said, they are not afraid of making mistakes. Even blaming others for if there is a fall, they won't beat the floor. That's also not good for the child. It is the child's action. Same with clapping, saying good. You are a good boy. If you take one more mouthful of food, I will say you are a good boy. Then my goodness depends upon your reaction. That's why I said we are placing, it is instead of helping the child to create his self-esteem, we are blocking the child's self-esteem. Child is not aware. Poor child, not aware of his capabilities. When you say good, even if I'm capable of doing more, I don't try beyond that. You have said good, that's enough. If you say, no, this is not okay, I'm sorry, you are a bad boy, there, though I think that I am capable, I can do it, the self-esteem also gets affected. Even there, it gets affected. These are very minor things. We don't realize that. For the children to try it out, I said even for adults, so there is a thin line between self-confidence and self-esteem. For the children to have, young children to have confidence, self-confidence, they need to have a lot of opportunities. Then only they will realize their own potential. I said when the child is born, they are not capable. But we know eventually all our children are capable of everything. Like all of us. But if you don't give them opportunities, it is again out of love. Even there, if you keep doing it for the child, no, don't do that. I will help you. I will carry your bag. I will carry you. Not only your bag. I always say we carry bags. We also carry and in a hurry, your hand, you pick up it. Do not give opportunity to realize his own potential. It's only out of love. Then after a point, children they don't know how worthy they are, how capable they are. Since there is expectation of good and bad, and there is also expectation of somebody will come and help me. I need not do it. We know as adults, when we have a small achievement in our life, our self-esteem, our self-confidence will boost up. It could be a minor thing. Oh, I can do it by myself. That happiness, it's not arrogance. Even for adults, it's not arrogance. It is not overconfidence. This confidence comes from our capability. I know that I can do it. That's what will happen with children, very young children. We know when we give them opportunities, when we let them do these things by themselves, only the, okay, you can eat by yourself. You can fill water by yourself. By filling water, nobody is going to tell you good boy or a bad boy. There is no good and bad. That's when we will help our children to build their self-esteem. Every action of the child will help the child to realize who he is, how capable the child is. Making mistakes, it is part of it. It is, I would say, you can't separate that. While we are learning something, as adults, we make a lot of mistakes. When we make major mistakes in our life, sometimes it's very difficult. But for our children, they are not such mistakes. They make mistakes. And they are also not bothered. Like I said, they don't, as long as there is no this kind of expectation. Oh, if I make a mistake, they will say bad boy. If I do it well, they will say good and will be only towards good and bad. I want to get it from you. Self-esteem is completely lost. Self-confidence is completely, I would say that it's other way. Poor children, they work towards that. I can also say that they are pressurized to perform. When we are working under pressure, there is no pleasure. But for our young children, if you leave them alone, they work with joy. They like to try out things. Even decision making. If you make a wrong decision, we always say, no, in our life, that's a lesson for my life. That's a wrong move. That's a wrong decision. We all say that. That comes from our experience. And I always want to talk about us. When I make a wrong decision, I realize that it's a wrong decision. It's not only helping me, it is giving me confidence to help others. I can tell others, don't try out this. I've tried already. It's not working. Please don't try. From my experience, we say that. From my experience, I want to tell you, this won't work. That we can say it with confidence. Confidence will lead to self-esteem for adults. Same with children. That's why I'm saying rewards. Might be all of you might be wondering how children expect. How can we not praise our children? I want to tell you, poor children, we create that expectation. Otherwise, like I said, the crawling child is not falling. It's because somebody will say good or bad. Somebody will clap. The walking child is not walking. So that people in the family will clap around me. That's the expectation which is created. That expectation will become a hindrance for the child's building, that to that period. It is the creation of self-esteem. It's a beginning period. I would say it's the foundation. 2-year-old child, 3-year-old child, the child realizes how capable he is. I am not saying those children can travel by themselves, they can manage their own life. It's not that. But based on their capabilities, if they are able to do it without depending on adults to say, do it or it's good, then they create their own self-esteem. Self-esteem can be created only by oneself. It cannot be from others. We cannot tell others, you need to have confidence. Yes, all of us are trying. That's why lot of opportunities for our children. And they also need, when I say opportunities, they also need to realize I have the freedom to function. Like I said, if the child is trying to climb onto something, as adults, to help the child to build his self-esteem, we need to watch and help the child only when it is necessary. Instead, if you pick up the child and place him wherever he wanted to climb, then the child is not knowing his capabilities. The child is not aware of his capabilities. There is no confidence next time. When I see such kind of, whether it can be a steps, it can be a chair, I don't know whether I'm capable. I need to wait for someone. And same thing will happen. It's a hindrance to the child's self-confidence and self-esteem. At the same time, if the child is climbing, you clap. Then next time when the child is climbing, nobody is clapping. Child will start to wonder, what is happening to me? Why nobody is clapping? That's why I said it won't. We know punishments are very bad. That at least we are very clear about that. We say that we can't punish children. There are laws against punishing children, but there are no laws against this kind of rewards, which is a hindrance for the child's self-esteem. When the children are growing up, even a 6-year-old child needs to evaluate, child needs to judge himself. That is the highest level of independence all of us need to have. I would say that's vital. I need to know myself first. Wait for someone to say. When someone says that you are capable, it stays with us only for that 10 minutes. That minute we are happy. After some point, again, there are some self-doubts. Is it possible by me? Can I do it? All of us know that, isn't it? So-and-so said it that day, but I'm wondering, is it possible? We know that it's not permanent, isn't it? It's temporary. But we want our children to have self-esteem, which is permanent. That's why we mustn't unnecessarily help our children. No unnecessary rewards. I'm not even going to talk about punishments. Like I said, we are all aware of punishments. We feel it's very bad. I want to tell you, rewards are also, though you may not agree with me, I'm not here to tell you that all of you must agree with me. But please think about it. All the time praising the child. I will give you chocolate if you do this. That's a reward. I don't I'll do without this chocolate. That's a hindrance. It's not only with this kind of eating, walking, and other things. When the child is doing something else, even academics, if the child is coming and asking you, how is my drawing? How is my writing? We need to start thinking, why is the child asking me? We need to help our children to evaluate themselves. That can start when they're very early by not clapping, by not telling them, excellent, very good. Look at him. Look at the way he's doing. And then this extra unnecessary reward will create a lot of expectation. They lose along the way, they lose their identity, they lose their self-esteem. 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds who can talk their way through. If they come and ask you, we need to ask them, what do you think about it? What do you think? You tell me, what do you think? Whether I'm not even talking about academics, if they ask, do you think that I can do it? What do you think? Help our children to make their own judgment. Help our children to evaluate themselves, but we need to support them. Like the way I said, when the child is climbing onto someone, we need to stand there and help the child at the right moment. Without telling the child, no, 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 this is too difficult for you. I will pick you up. I will put you on that. Or don't do that. You are not capable. After doing it, clapping, leaving all those, stand there and watch the child and help the child. That's for a very young child. Our physical presence is needed. Same with the older child. They need to realize that we are always there to guide them, not to tell them what to do. Telling them what to do will not help them. If we are able to help our children in that way, even the 6 to 12-year-old children, they need lot of such opportunities. They are very capable. We are here, we need to create opportunities where they can realize their capabilities. We all know, no, some of us have definitely high level of self-esteem. Our life has given us, life experience has given us that kind of confidence, saying that, yes, even if someone says something, I know about myself. We heard people saying that, I know myself very well. Don't bother. That is self-esteem. That's why I'm saying self-esteem is never, it's not about arrogance. It's about self-worth. The teenagers also, if they are used to this kind of rewards, if they are used to this kind of always praising them or telling them what to do, then that's when we see a lot of problems with teenagers. I don't know. They also say, no, my life is meaningless. Poor children. I don't know the meaning in my life. I don't know. First of all, they are not sure of themselves. But then look at our young children. Though they can't talk, they are not bothered about what is going to be in my life, what is the meaning in my life. They keep doing their things. So it's easy to help our younger children. It's very easy. It's not difficult. We don't abandon our children. That's dangerous. Thinking that the child is capable, we are not abandoning our children, but give them lot of opportunities where they can realize their capabilities. They will realize how capable they are. And those children, definitely we all know, young children, they don't work for rewards. Like I said, it's a hindrance. They don't. They keep doing things and then they keep moving. That's a younger child, below the age of 6. There, if you let them do it, there is no such question as what is the meaning of my life? What am I going to do? I don't know about myself. I have a lot of self-doubts. That's a teenager, self-doubt. Hopefully, if you are able to help our young children, there won't be any self-doubt. They are very clear. Children who definitely, we have seen such children also, very clear of themselves. Actually, the courage with which we are able to say, yes, I made a mistake. I know that was a mistake. I realized that later. But sometimes it was too late. Hereafter, I make sure that I won't make such mistakes. That comes from self-esteem. How many of us can say that? We hide. We feel very bad. We feel bad to face others. If you're able to say, people say that sometimes with confidence, they say that, I know that it was a mistake. I realize I'm okay with it. Then you don't even get reaction from others. Once you are sure of yourself, there is no reaction from others. If you are affected by reactions, then our self-esteem also will go down. Children are like that. They are not bothered about result. That's why I said, let's not create that kind of expectation. Oh, I have done it. I'm waiting for someone to tell me that I'm good. Isn't it? We wait. I want someone to tell me how capable I am. It's a kind of a handicapness, isn't it? But all of us are capable. It is not that only some of us are capable. That's why we must be very careful with our young children. Give them opportunities, give them the freedom also. We always say with very young children, we must collaborate with our children. Collaborate with the child. Give the child that opportunity. Let the child work it out by himself. Let them make mistakes. Actually, our children are very clever. Once they make a wrong decision, they will not do that again at all. They don't. They are very clever. Let them make those decisions. If you start making the simple thing up that I'm going to tell you what to eat now, I'm going to tell you what to wear now. This is out of love. We feel our children are not capable. I'm here to help my child. Every time we make the decision, we are giving the strong and indirect message that you are not capable. You are not capable. I'm doing it for you. Then suddenly one day, when the child is a teenager, you can't expect the child to be sure of himself and tell us what he wants to do. Sadly, they become clueless. We say, no, I don't know why he's clueless. He can't make any decision. There is no self-esteem. Self-esteem and self-confidence. Actually, I would say they are two sides of the same coin. That when you have self-esteem, definite self-confidence, it will definitely lead to self-esteem. And happily, I can look after myself. For that, we are here to help our children, very young children. Self-esteem. Like I said, it is not esteem, just an esteem. It is self-esteem. We will help our children to build their self-esteem little by little. It won't come overnight. We know there are some personality courses are happening. They're trying to boost our self-esteem. Our adult, we will help you to boost your self-esteem. We will help you to become a person with self-confidence. We all try. That's not easy. That's a good intention. It's very easy. Our work is, and we are also helping these young children to become adults who will have high level of self-esteem. It is not just self-esteem, high level of self-esteem. Like I already said, it's not arrogance. I'm sure of myself. We talk about inner peace. When we are sure of ourselves, there is inner peace. Definitely there is inner peace. That starts, that you can see that peace, joy, always with our very young children. It looks like the very young children below the age of 4 or 5, they are always at peace. I'm not talking about children who are crying sometimes. Dr. Montessori also says, cry of the child is cry for help. It's not that. I'm not talking about that. But the joy with which they communicate. And they look at them, they are like in our philosophy, they say karma yogi. Our young children are actually, they don't expect rewards. They don't expect any kind of outer recognition. Let's not create that kind of hindrance so that we can help them to build their own self-esteem. Once we are able to do that when they are very young, we need not worry about them when they are 6-year-olds. They will come and tell you. Actually, they will tell you, this is not okay. I know that this is not okay. I made a mistake. Whether it's academics, whether it's some other decision. And the teenagers will definitely tell you. I'm sure of myself. I can manage my life. That's what eventually all of us want from our children. Whenever we are trying to prize a child, let's stop and think for a minute to see whether this will help my child. Is it necessary to do that? Is it necessary? Always remember, we all need recognition. For a young child, that comes from within. They realize, they recognize. Definitely, we don't need rewards. We can. We are all here to help our children. I'm so happy to see all of you today. Actually, I think the uniting factor for all of us as children, let's try. It's only that awareness. Okay, hereafter, before I clap, I must think for a minute to see. I want to tell you, children who are used to this kind of clapping and, oh, you're a good boy, suddenly you can't stop. Poor child, you can't stop them. Like the way I said, the child looked at me strangely, wondering, what is this lady doing here? Why is she not doing the thing which others are doing? But slowly, let's move away from that. But give them lot of freedom with guidance and lot of opportunities so that they can realize their capability. And through their capabilities, they will create their own self-esteem. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop now.